Pulled my little Ford tractor out of the shed this morning, hoping that I'd be able to cut some lawn, but that didn't work out. Battery's fully charged and not even a click out of this thing. Well, just for fun, let's try jumping the solenoid and see what happens. Well, that's something, I guess. So, I have a problem in the ignition switch or one of the safety switches, and I mean, doing that, she should have turned over, so it sounds like the Bendix gear on the starter is not popping out either, so might have to pull the starter out, clean that out. Before we do that, let's try and trace down where our problem is with the ignition. So I'm going to bet that we have a problem with one of the safety switches because that key switch was working last year. There's a terminal block somewhere in here that has all the connections on it for all the safety switches. So we're going to go ahead and pull the deck just to make a little bit more room under there and then see if we can't get at that terminal block and clean it up or find any loose connections or something like that. Okay, well I was wrong about what side it was on. It's actually on the opposite side, but that's the switch right there that we're looking at. And that thin metal arm on the top there, I think that's our culprit. I'm going to press on the parking brake here and you'll be able to see that actuate there. And it looks like there's a bunch of crap built up in it right there. So I don't know, maybe if it's not depressing the switch all the way, or if maybe there's contacts in there that are dirty. Not 100% sure, but let's pull it off there and take a closer look at it. Well, other than being real dirty, I think this is functioning. It sounds like it's working internally, but all of these posts on the outside of it are just caked with dirt, so I'm wondering if maybe that was the problem. So we're just going to clean this thing up, toss it back in there, and see if that makes any difference. I would take it apart and clean it, but it's the kind that's sort of riveted together. I don't know that I'd actually be able to get it apart and back together, still functioning. So let's just try and clean the outside of it off real good here and see if that makes any kind of a difference. I'm going to put just a little bit of dielectric grease on the contacts here too. I'm always torn between doing that and not doing it on stuff like this because I feel like it always helps just to keep the contacts in good shape, but then I mean on a lawnmower I feel like the grease is kind of just going to attract dust and dirt and maybe lead to more problems in the future. So I don't know, if you have an opinion one way or the other on that, drop a comment down there, let me know. But we're going to try it this time and see if it makes any difference for us or how it's going to work out. And that is about all that I can do with that, short of trying to open it up and see what's going on the inside. But for now I think we should just try that, put it back in and see if it makes any kind of a difference. Alright, let's see if that changed anything for us. Seems to have changed a lot for us. And our Bendix is engaging now, so that's something. Still might not be a bad idea to pull that starter and clean it out. And the other thing I want to try and do is maybe replace this key switch before I go pulling the starter out. Just because it is, well, it's like this lock nut is stripped. Just not secured in place very well, and it, you know, kind of makes it a giant pain in the ass to actually turn the key. So we're going to get rid of that and swap it out. Well, I made a mistake when I ordered switches. Surprise, surprise. The neck on this one is a little bit smaller than the one that's in there right now, and I open this up and the hole for the switch is just all sorts of wallowed out. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think what we're going to do is move the switch over to the opposite side. There's another existing hole in the dash over here, and I think it's just going to fit better and it's going to be a better spot altogether. Because of the location of the gas tank back here, you really can't get to the back side of this switch without taking the whole dash apart. Over here on the left side, there's a lot more room between the dash and the battery that sits over there. So I'm thinking it's kind of just going to be a more convenient place altogether. And then I don't have to deal with this walled out hole, and I think I'll actually be able to get the switch to fit tighter. Okay, got our new switch swapped out and wired properly. It's working. Just got to drill a hole and get it mounted. Alright, dash is all back together, new switch is mounted and installed. Let's take a look at a little bit of a fuel leak that I just noticed. There is an old inline fuel filter right here. And I don't know when the last time was that it was changed, but the line going to it is pretty much deteriorating. So we're going to try and change out the line and the filter, and hopefully not spill too much gas. Okay, that is fixed. Let's toss some fresh gas in this thing and see if it'll fire up.